Thank you for tuning in to Designers Business Community Podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of talking to Danijela Saponjic of Unfolding Space, and she's going to teach us all about Feng Shui in the interior space. Welcome, Danijela. Thank you so much for being on our podcast today.
Hey, Eric, thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Yes, I'm so excited to dive into everything about Feng Shui because it's mystical, it's to some and but it's so curious to others. So I'm excited to learn all about that. Before we dive into that, I would love you to just introduce yourself a little bit and your business.
Sure. So, as you said, I'm Danijela Saponjic. I live in Germany and in Serbia as well. And I learned Feng Shui 2004 when I was only 26 years old, just straight after finishing my university, getting my degree. And I've built this business into an international business, serving clients in Europe and North America and in Asia. And I just love what I do. And besides, I'm mother to four boys. We have a German Shepherd. Like I'm bored, so I'm just like, oh, let's just get the German Shepherd. So, so it's a busy but very fun life.
Excellent. Wow, yeah, it does sound like it. I'm so impressed that you're able to expand your business globally. So yeah, we'll dive into that a little bit later because I'm sure a lot of our audience here would love to learn about that. But before we go into that, please help us explain. I'm of Chinese descent, so I understand what high level what feng shui is. I didn't study it, but I'm sure there's a lot of people here that don't even know what that is. They've heard the term, but they have no clue. So why don't you share with us just a very simple introduction to what feng shui is?
Yes, so there's so many definitions out there, and I'm going to share mine. Feng Shui for me is a way of life. It's a way of living. It's a philosophy of life, and it just expresses itself the way how we build houses and arrange furniture. So that's the expression of Feng Shui, but it's not the essence. The essence of Feng Shui is not where do I put my desk or where do I put my bed or what colors how do I paint my office or my space. It's just really understanding the deep knowledge of Feng Shui about energy flow, about life force. What is life force? How it's bringing us not only vitality, but life force is also bringing us abundance. And with abundance, I don't mean money. I mean life abundance. So when you start understanding Feng Shui from this side, then it becomes softer, it becomes easier, and you understand that your space is not holding any power over you because you are holding the energy and you are arranging your space according to your energy in your vision. So in essence, this is feng shui for me.
Wow, that's great. That is so empowering too. I love that. I'm very
Thank
curious, how did you find feng shui yourself and why do you choose to practice in it?
Oh, this is a really fun story. So, as I just mentioned, I was only 26 when I got my degree. I studied business administration in Munich at the University of Applied Sciences. And when I finished in 2004, no, 2002, I didn't find a job. My whole life was heading towards I want to be in any kind of marketing. I don't care what it was, but marketing was my life until then. And then it didn't work out. So I was at the lowest point of my life and I was working at a fast food restaurant because I just needed money. And there was a moment where I was going through reading an article about decluttering. And they were sharing, like, if you declutter your space, your life is going to change. And I didn't believe it. I was like, there is no way. How,
Right.
like, it just it didn't work for me. So, and since things didn't get better, I went home and told my husband, well, listen, there is this concept of, decluttering the space and then something's going to happen. Let's try it out. So, and the thing with decluttering is it's not like clutter is not messy. It's just like tidied somewhere. It's just filling up our space. So we did it and things started to shift and to change. And I'm like, well, there must be something about it. And this is with 26, as I said, it was a spring when I read the article. And in 2006, in autumn, I was in Switzerland learning from an old Chinese Feng Shui master, Feng Shui. So it's a crazy journey. And this is like, when I'm fascinated with something, I just don't give up. I'm just like looking and searching and learning. And so this has been my journey for the last 20 years now.
Wow, that's great. I love the personal connection to that. That is so cool. There is so much to learn about feng shui, right? And I guess in our business, interior design and architecture and such, because we're designers of space and we're also controllers of space, are there some simple tips that you can leave for us? I know it's a big concept. I know there's probably tons, but is there some simple tips that you can leave for our audience to maybe just best practices when they're thinking about space, arranging their space for their clients? Obviously, if it's anything complicated, I would love them to reach out to you or other feng shui masters. But what can you leave with us that's very practical on a high level?
Okay, so it's something I guess nobody has ever heard before. In Feng Shui, we have the concept of what you see is what you get.
Mm,
So when designing a home for your clients, the first step would be really, really to connect to the clients and really hear beyond words. What do their clients want? What do they want to reach in their lives? What is their vision? And then translating this vision into the space, because I always tell my clients when I work with them, it's like, okay, what do you see in your home? Is it the reflection of who you want to be or who you want to become? And they're like,
mhm.
oh no, this is just, the past. And I'm like, okay, so we need to change this, right? Because
Right.
this is the most simple concept, but it's so powerful, Eric. Our home is all about subconsciousness. We don't even realize what we see. And so our subconsciousness is just uh, connecting to all this information, to everything what we own. So this is really so powerful. Now, of course, I could start talking about feng shui concepts, chi flow, the landscape feng shui, compass feng shui, flying stars. There's so many things, but I think it will cause a lot of confusion. As you just said, if you need more information, reach out to me or to other feng shui masters. But with this, you create a personal connection to your a deeper personal connection to your clients, and you help them their vision become true by arranging their space in alignment with their energy.
Right. That is great. And I love that statement because I practice it as a designer myself and I coach other designers to do the same. But when we're listening to our clients, what they're saying may not be what they're really wanting, right? So you have the ability
Yeah.
to read between the lines and understand really what they're wanting. How it applies to us is, yeah, sometimes one of the things that we ask is, how do you live your life in your space? What is your lifestyle? How do you use the space? And as they bring things up, there's some inconsistencies that I would pick up and then I would dive into, well, do you really want that? Or is it this other thing that you're looking for? And then that's really when it wakes up for them. And as designers, I think we are best suited to help them do that. And there's this glow that happens when we can help them actualize in words and in physical space what they were wanting to do anyways. And you're doing that in a feng shui energy perspective. So that's really great to know. Um,
Yeah, and every time when I have designers or architects in my school, I'm so grateful because they are like on the front line in creating the life, not only the space, but the future life for their clients. And when they bring feng shui in, it doesn't have to be complicated.
right,
When you're planning from a paper and you're drawing, everything can be changed, right? And then when it comes to life, right? When it gets real, then it will develop a beautiful energy for the family, for your clients to really, really expand, which is amazing.
right. Now I'm guessing that feng shui isn't for all people or like all clients. Even maybe it should be, but some people may not even want it or for some reason. So share with us as designers, how do we listen for cues or what kind of verbal cues are there when people are talking to us or when we're talking to our clients to listen to know, okay, this person should explore some feng shui options. What are some things that we can
Mhm.
listen for?
So you can listen if there is a pattern. Like if the client says, well, I always have difficulties connecting to my home, or it's really hard for me to move. It's hard for me to let go of my old home. Or if somebody cannot make decisions, it's like, oh, this looks good, and and I don't know, and it's like overwhelmed with decisions. Sometimes it really can be to dive into feng shui a little bit deeper, because there might be like an issue of this not being able to connect and not being able to really let go and connect to the space can sometimes be really connected to feng shui, because this person has difficulties of letting go and opening up to the new space. And this is really something where feng shui can help, because as I said, it's not about how do I arrange furniture, it's about how do I connect to the flow of life. And sometimes flow of life gets stuck when we are not able to make decisions or not able to arrive at the space. We move our bodies, but not our energy. So this sometimes can be really great clues to listen to. And if somebody is talking about general spiritual things, it's somebody maybe practicing yoga or mindfulness or meditation, then it's just sometimes I always tell my designers, just ask, have you ever heard about feng shui? And very often clients say, oh, I'm so glad you asked. I didn't have the courage to bring it up because I
Right.
thought you might think that I'm crazy. So, just ask. And if somebody says, well, no, I don't think that's nothing for me, it's like, okay, I just wanted to ask. So, okay, let's move on.
Right, got it. Okay, that's good. Now, is there a optimal time to bring you in or another feng shui artist in the cycle of a project? I'm assuming the earlier the better, but let's say if they didn't decide until all the walls are up and everything's built, and now the only thing you move is furniture. Does that still work?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We have so many tools how we can balance, even if a house well, Eric, there is no perfect feng shui. We need to understand that it's just like, we live in cities, we live in areas where you cannot build a perfectly designed feng shui house. But I always also tell my students, if somebody has zero feng shui and we help them to bring it up to 50%. So it's 50% feng shui what we bring in, and it's a lot. So whenever, even if you move in and a month later you're like, oh, I think this space is not, I don't know, something's missing. Well, even then it's not too late.
Got it. Okay, that's really good to know. I also know that you help people with their office spaces. So maybe you can share some tips for our design business owners, what to do in their own office space so that they can witness that for themselves.
Yeah. So there you can also start with this the simple sentence, what you see is what you get, right? So just look around in your office, like is this office mirroring who you are and who you want to be? This would be the very first step. And then the second step would be let go of things from the past. Let go of like things where you say, okay, this is not really connected to who I want to become. And the third step would be to create space. So I just want to tell a really, really quick story. Years ago, I had an agency calling me, and they're like, there is no new business coming in. I was like, okay, let's see what is going on there. And everything was really tidied, but everything was so filled with projects, Eric. Everything was filled with folders. So the whole agency, like all the shelves, everything was full. So I asked the owner, like when a new client comes, how many folders do you need, or how much space do you need? And he's like, well, we need 10 folders. And then I asked him, is there a place for 10 folders? And he's like, no, everything is filled. Like it's full.
Right.
So creating space means creating space for new business.
Okay. Right.
Again, very like really creating space for new business. And then the next step is when you sit at your desk, your past projects can be in your back. Like if you have a wall in your back, so then it's great. Like I'm looking, we're talking and I see in the back, I see paintings or plans. This might be projects from the past, giving you power, giving you confidence. Like this is what I've done and it's in my backing. It's empowering me from behind. And in front of you, when you look up, you should have anything what mirrors your visions. It can be
Okay.
future projects, it can be your vision board, whatever it is, but just like, and you are in the center, you are in the now, and the past projects are behind and the coming are in front. So you create a timeline.
That's great. I love the explanation of that. That's so simple to understand too.
Mhm.
Now, I can't help to think because I have a few people in my life who are very sentimental and they love, they have memories to old stuff. Even like at home, I've met clients who are what we call in North America, quote unquote, hoarders, which is it's hard for them to get rid of the old things and they just kind of keep on piling it up. So from that perspective, that must be, is that negative energy that they're holding on to? Is that how that works?
It's stuck energy. It's not necessarily negative. It's just
Okay.
stuck energy because the stuff is holding the flow and it cannot flow. And this is then when energy gets stuck. And since it's life force energy, it's stopping your life from flowing.
Okay, got it. Wow, that's a great concept. Um,
Mhm.
I want to dive into your first step, which is what you see, what you get. Maybe help break that down a bit. What does that mean?
So, in Feng Shui, we have this concept of the landscape Feng Shui is the most powerful Feng Shui. It's also the oldest school. And it's just about how the body in Feng Shui, we see the house like the second body.
Okay.
And to really explain it very, very simple, it's about our bodies are built perfectly because that's how nature builds them. And, we breathe in, the oxygen is flowing to our lungs and, to the heart, and then it's, flowing through the whole body. So, back in the days, the people who built houses, they had space. They were looking at nature. They were looking like, where's the sea, where's the mountain, where's the woods, and so on. And then they would place a house in connection to the nature, connection to the landscape, so
Right.
that the house has a face, and ideally the backing, like our spine, is very strong. It's holding our body, and in the back of the house we would have a mountain, so it's holding the energy in the house.
Got it.
So and then the view out of the house needed to be wide. The
Hmm.
more you see, the more opportunities are flowing. So the what you see, what you get concept is
Okay.
just, Feng Shui is not going to place the opportunities in your lap. It's going to show you the opportunities. So you need to see them, and the backing gives you the power to grab them.
Right. Okay.
So
Wow, that's
when you have, this concept, then you not only see the opportunities coming, but you have the power to grab them and then to take action on them.
yes. Thank you for that. That is such a great explanation. I think a lot of people struggle the same way, especially when they're very logical, is understanding the mystics of energy and feng shui and all of the other dimensions, right? So I love the way you explain it. It's very simple to understand from that perspective. Yeah.
Thank you. And there's just one little thing I want to add. You don't need any feng shui remedies to practice feng shui. I know this is so important for designers. So feng shui is really free of any style. You don't need to have any gods or any Buddhas or any like specific things placed in your home to practice feng shui. So it's really completely free. I mean, when I go to a Bavarian house in Germany, I cannot place a Buddha there. They're like, are you no, like, no, it doesn't work. So it's really free from religion, from style, from lifestyle, from design style. It's completely free. I just want to add this because Feng Shui is very often connected to remedies,
Right.
and Feng Shui is not about remedies.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, that's very freeing because yeah, I think a lot of people have that connotation that oh maybe feng shui is just connected to a certain style or a certain culture or a certain whatever. So it's universal, right? Because Earth, nature, the world, it is universal.
Yeah.
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 Okay, excellent. Thank you. Because we're a podcast for design business owners, I would love you to share a bit about your business building journey for your own feng shui business, and maybe you have some tips for other business owners or some struggles that you learned. Yeah, I would love to hear your perspective as a business owner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the like I'm in business for 20 years now, and in a very specific niche. It's very, very specific. And one thing I learned is that business is about building connections. And it's really the strongest piece of my business. When I started out, probably you too, like I started out in 2006, 2004, 2006, and the whole online era wasn't there yet. We did have websites, but it was like really like no CRM, no newsletters, webinars, all the stuff. Like we didn't have anything. So what I started back then is a very simple newsletter, like really simple. I did it through my Outlook. I was just sending out like to 20 people. And so my newsletter is now 15 years old and or even longer. And it's about really building connections to people. And it not might not be the fastest way, but it's the way which will help you really on a long-term basis. And I just want to like I was thinking about what's the benefit of building connections. And for me, it was that I built a multiple six-figure business, almost seven-figure, with no ads budget. My
Hmm.
ad budget for last year was 5,000 euros.
Right.
And I mean, today it's like, oh, you built a business. So, okay, you need ad spend, you need this and that. But just, I know it's in the beginning, it takes a little bit longer, but just build connections and come to give, come to serve, not to
Right.
get. So,
Right.
this is for me one of the most important things. Listen to people, be in service, and help them reach their goals. And this is why people pay you and why people trust you and why they will come back to you. Because I guess for the business, for the interior designers, it's pretty much the same like for Feng Shui. You have mostly one-time clients because,
Right.
they build their house, you do the design, or I do my Feng Shui consultation, they're happy, and that's it. So, but they're going to recommend you. And
Right.
so your business is going to grow in a very natural and organic way. And another thing is for myself, and I guess you will say the same, Eric, just get a business coach as soon as you can. This should be your
Mhm.
most important investment after finishing school or, whatever you do. Just get like I didn't get it in the beginning, and I always say I lost years, but I guess it was just my way to learn. But yeah, it's like I always tell my students, it's like you get a Porsche, like a really great car, and then you don't have the money to fill in gas. So just get
Yeah,
a business coach. It's the best
that's
investment ever.
that's a great analogy. Yeah, I think you left some really good tips there. I want to maybe just summarize it because I also share the same thinking. But yeah, right now in this digital work day and age, there's just so much distractions, and I think as business owners, we feel the pressure to have to succumb to those. Oh yeah, you got to put on these social media ads and these Facebook ads and all of that stuff. But I find that a lot of it is just noise. And it may help push a little bit in the beginning, but what you talk about is that long-term vision, that holistic approach to business building. And yes, it's slow in the beginning, but eventually exponential curve will kick in, and those deep connections that you've nurtured over the years will pay off, like what it's done for you. So thank you for that tip. I think it's so important. Too many people, I think, is too short-sighted in their business. And if you take a longer vision, it completely changes it over time, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it takes pressure off you because
Hmm.
you suddenly start enjoying your business and go out. And this is how I built all my businesses. Is go out to network meetings, connect to people, talk to them, like even podcasts. I love connecting through podcasts, but just going to networking events. This is what I tell all my students: go to networking events, and you will get, and everybody gets a client
Yes, for sure.
while
For
they're
sure.
studying. Yeah.
Yeah, your other point, I think it can't be stressed enough because I remember when I first started building my design business, I didn't have anyone I can turn to. I wish I had. I wish I had mentors in the industry who's been there already, done that, and can tell me what to do and what not to do. And now, as I listen to my coaching clients, when I help them with their business, they are so relieved when I give them just small nuggets of advice because I've been there already, but it's saving them years of time and money, I guess, in shortcutting their learning curve in building a business, right? Because no one was taught business. Design school didn't teach us business. We just have to learn ourselves. So imagine if you
Yeah.
had a guide, right? Yes.
Absolutely. And Eric, I studied business administration
Oh,
and I
wow.
didn't know how to build a business. And today, my biggest asset is the ability to connect two worlds, the business side and the spiritual side. And I move in two
Mm.
worlds. I speak both languages, and this is really very, very unique. So, knowing business, and if you don't know it, get help, get support, knowing your numbers is just like when you know them and you set them up. I love working with numbers. Of course, I did this, like business is my thing, but spirituality, feng shui, I love it too. So you can do both.
That's great. Thank you so much. These are some really good nuggets of knowledge that you've left with us. I'm sure our audience will take it fully in and best serve their clients. And if they need a feng shui artisan master, how do they reach you? And tell us your contacts.
Sure. So you can always take a look at my website. It's unfolding-space.com, or Instagram, it's unfolding_space_en for English. And then like connect and let me know how I can support you.
Excellent. Thank you again, Daniela. I love talking to you. Thanks for hopping on to our Designers Business Community podcast. And I wish you all the best in your business. I'm sure we're going to connect down the road sometime also.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric.
I hope you enjoyed that podcast with Daniela. Not only did she tell us what feng shui is in a very simple manner, she also helped us to understand how it affects our spaces, not only the residential ones that we design, but also the business ones for our own business. And I really appreciate her business tip about taking that long-term vision and finding a guide or a mentor along the way. It's so important. Building business is a lonely journey, but it doesn't have to be. And that's why I'm on a mission with Designers Business Community Podcast to help bring this awareness to other design business owners like you. I'm Eric Lee with Starfish Coaching and Designers Business Academy. If you need anything, do reach out. I'm here to help. Otherwise, tune in to our next podcast episode, and I will see you on the next one.